Welcome back to part 2 of episode 15 of Let's Talk. I have both images open now in Affinity Photo. This is the first one. You can see how dark it is. And these are very large images. I've got about 500 megs worth of images open at the moment. And you can see on the second one, there is considerably more detail in the shadows. So what I'm going to do at this point is walk it through part of our workflow. Typically there are more steps involved, but for the sake of time and to give you a sense of what's going on and the differences in terms of how real they are in post-processing, I'm going to go ahead and apply a preset inside Nyq to both images. We've been using Nyq since long before Nyq was purchased by Google, who owned them before DxO did. I'm going to use a preset developed by J.D. Malazzo that is specifically used for things like waterfalls. I'm looking for some radical details here, and momentarily we should see that. Okay, hard to believe that a machine with an i7 processor specifically designed for multimedia, including photography, with 32 gigs of RAM could take this amount of time, but I think you get the picture. Okay, so before I've even applied the preset, notice how much more detail is available. And now I'm going to pick up another preset, and you can see I have even more detail. I really like that. I think it's good. What I might do later is dodge and burn some of the areas. But for the moment, I'm going to go ahead and click on OK. And the last piece of the process will be to go into Exposure X5 and add one of the vintage antique finishes that we've developed specifically for our film process. As I've mentioned before, I think it's critically important to have a unified workflow that you follow each and every time. And with the exception of one step, adding clarity within affinity to an image, we do it the same way each and every time. The only variance is the selection of a final finish, an antique film finish, that we think specifically embodies the look and feel of the image. So hopefully here in another minute we'll be good to go. Okay, we are back. And there's the original, and that's with the addition of the Nyq plugin. Now we're going to go to Exposure X5, Filter Plugin Exposure X5. These are a series of special presets that we've developed specifically for this genre of photography. And you can see the amount of detail that we've been able to pull back. While there is some loss of detail in here, it certainly does not hurt the image. That one to me is a bit harsh. That one's adequate. Notice that this one in particular, if I apply it, gives me more detail back in here. I like the richer browns, but if I do this one, I'm probably going to eliminate or cut back the vignetting significantly. This is the one you saw. I think it's a little bit too pink. That one's very nice in terms of the whiteness of the stone and taking your eye directly back. More of an infrared. Too yellow. It's okay, kind of neutral. Again, very nice. I'll probably, if I use this one, do something about the vignetting. That one, no. Interesting. All right, so let's narrow this down. And I think we'll go with this one, and we're going to do a couple of quick changes. Number one is I'm going to bring up the clarity. Number two, I'm going to pull the highlights down just a little bit. Three, I am going to lighten the shadows. I'm going to lighten the blacks. I'm going to darken my whites a little bit. Notice how it's brought in the detail there. And lastly, I'm just going to back off a little bit more on the vignetting. I can also extend my color palette, and I think that's a little bit too. All right, let's go with that. And momentarily it'll be finished. We'll compare the before and after to give you a sense of what we've been able to accomplish. It's always amazing how with 32 gigs of RAM and a very fast processor and a very fast GPU on our video board, these machines are equipped with NVIDIA boards that each have 6 gigs of video RAM. It takes a fair amount of time for this to happen, comparatively speaking, for the amount of power. But momentarily, we should be seeing the screen. And there you are. The original image, reclaiming some detail, finished product. That concludes Let's Talk episode 15, part 2. Until next time. If you want to contact us, we can be reached at NyghtFalcon.com or our magazine site, nightvision.com. And if you want to email me directly, you can reach me at inspiration@NyghtFalcon.com.